I retired 20 years ago, so that's hard to believe. I'll be 83 this week, and just celebrated our 59th wedding anniversary this past week. So I'm an antique of sorts, but still trying to be active. And right now, I'm not too old, and I'm not finished yet. So.
I think his spice and attitude for life has not changed for his entire life.
Yeah, I'm thankful for RB and the long haul impact he's had on so many students' lives, he's had on my family's life.
For the longest time, we didn't know what our dad did for a living. We thought he just
hung out with
just played
students.
ping pong and volleyball and drank from the Coke machine. You know, that was the coolest thing, to have a workplace where you could get Coke and just push a button. There was a neighbor who, their child kept talking about this friend he made named Roland.
The mom's like, my son wants to know if Roland can come and play. And mom's like, oh, that's my husband. But he just is childlike, not childish, just a kid at heart.
I knew who he was because he had married my parents. So I was like, I know who you are. You're the notorious RB, and I need to be your friend.
RB stands for Roland Bird, but
Reverend Bird, Roland Bird, Rare Bird, and they teased about being a real buzzard.
He had adopted RB as this moniker, but we started calling him Coach, and that's what I called him all through my student days. We'll still call him that from time to time.
Yes, I did see myself as a player coach. I wasn't asking them to do anything I was not willing to do myself. And a lot of times I was alongside them, so I was a player as well as a coach. And so I was not out there, even though my title might have been director on my door, I was not directing as much as enabling and encouraging. And I was resistive of this building being a haven, certainly not a fortress. And so it's supposed to be an inviting place where you generate and move and express out.
The Great Commission in Matthew is go ye into all the world, not y'all come, and so that mix of this, the way RB used this center as a great place for students to gather, but it wasn't just to gather and live their faith out, it was to gather to prepare them to go out and live their faith. There's so many timeless things in what we do. You can look through the pictures and things and say, okay, maybe the size of collars change from the 70s to now and things like that. The fashion's definitely different. Music styles can change. In the 70s, we'd have BSU folk groups that would go to the churches and whatnot, where now, we send out, our praise band, and it's just, some of those things are different. Christian community and being in real, authentic community where that calls you to be genuine with people and calls you to love and be loved well. Those are the things that RB, led well, and we still have and still do.
I think the BCM just taught me the value of authentic community and building relationships with people one-to-one and week-to-week. So it's not just meeting people who have similar values, but actually getting to know them, getting to know what their struggles were, getting to know what their joys and their dreams and their hopes are. And especially being in college, it's that time where you're refining a lot about yourself and you're refining a lot about your dreams and goals. So to champion one another is really, really cool too.
I believe life is a gift from God, and my relationships are a gift from God. And so to the degree that they're given to me, it's something for me to unwrap, to actually discover and not hang on to, but to multiply and share.
One of his biggest gifts is giving leadership and giving opportunities away.
I'm grateful for all the opportunities to be a leader and to try different leadership positions as well and see like, ooh, this one was really fun and I really shined here, or this one was hard for me and I grew a lot in that one.
It was unique to me because I could take freshmen and transfers, and then when it came time for the calls of leadership, then they would have lesser roles in the family group and then eventually be a vice president or occasionally a president and so forth, experiencing growth, experiencing challenge, and find a place where they had ownership. They were not just observers, they were not just consumers, they were in charge of making it happen.
When I was a student, we had a lot of weekend teams to churches that would work with youth and children and whatnot. And I remember I really had not been involved here that long and was a freshman, and he asked me to lead a weekend team to a church in Bedford. And on that team I had, there was a junior, there was a grad student. I mean, everybody on the team was older than me, and I'm sitting here going, I don't know what I'm doing. Why is he trusting me to do this? But he was calling out some of the things he saw in me, and not being fearful about what a freshman would do in that context.
It really taught me how to refine my gifts in ministry and leadership, as well as how to disciple people who are a little bit further behind me and reach out to people who are a little bit ahead of me.
I would like for Christians to think and act. And if you're not thinking, you're probably not going to be doing much acting.
I guess there's a pen that says, "Incorrigible punster, please do not encourage."
I think he definitely probably said a really corny joke when I first met him, for sure. It's a given. So I don't always get the jokes, but they're really great.
He loved whenever there was a group of freshmen, because it was a new audience. No one had heard his jokes before, and so boom, he went right after them.
To me, it was a part of the conversation, and he just did a pun.
He would always, when he'd get a new joke, he would do that one for a while.
The latest one is puns make me numb. Mathematical puns make me number.
How do you like my rose, bud?
So his go-to ones are the ones that people would always do a double take, kind of like, I'm not sure about this guy. Is he being serious? Is he not?
The phrase used to be like, to go to bed would be to hit the sack, and students now I don't think they refer to the bed as the sack, but he would use puns that like half the crowd would get and half wouldn't. He would say, it is sack religious to read your Bible and pray in bed. And some would get that, go, okay, yeah, the sack. And then other students would be like, months later, they'd be sitting in their bed reading their Bible and go, oh no, I can't remember why, but I'm not supposed to read my Bible in bed. RB said it was wrong. And there's just people that, what he was doing, his puns would go over their head.
And I think he enjoyed that when people didn't know whether he was joking or not.
He told me one about a termite that really loved wood, and I don't remember it, but it took me very long to get it.
Obviously, we're going, what? Huh? I can't remember. Is that how it goes? Dad would just be able to, the Rolodex of jokes is unreal. Yeah. He can just bring them up.
I don't know how his brain stores those. Actually, that's not normal. That's not normal.
Yeah.
We try to block him out, really. Him and the jokes.
It's a skill.
Another pun that RB used a lot that actually ended up being a teaching pun was he would talk about taters, okay? He would talk about all the taters that people can be and should be and shouldn't be.
Couch potato? No, I don't even remember. Was it a couch potato?
The spectator.
Yes.
The participator potato.
You want to avoid being an agitator, irritator. Even a spectator is not that good, but it's okay to be a sweet tater.
Yeah, and he would focus on, okay, how do you become the best kind of tater? And so he would use these excruciatingly painful puns, but also be teaching you about about the best ways to engage with life in that.
The most important of all is a participator, that you really are involved.